Governor Jerry Brown says the 25-year-old Enterprise Zone program results in a tax loss of $750 million each year. He also said the program is not serving its purpose in boosting job growth. Brown wants to replace it with an economic stimulus program. But local business owners say the zone's tax breaks and other incentives really work. Here with more on the issue are my guests, Mayor of National City, Ron Morrison, and Richard Barrera with the San Diego and Imperial County Labor Union. Thank you both for joining us. Mayor Morrison, where is San Diego's Enterprise Zone?
Well, it's broken up between three different cities. It's in San Diego, it's the basically Barrio Logan, part of downtown San Diego. National City, it's all of our industrial and commercial areas. In Chula Vista, it's Western Chula Vista, then it's also Otay Mesa and San Ysidro as part of San Diego.
And there was a rally today in Chula Vista in support of this. What sort of economic impact have you seen in National City as far as this zoning goes?
Well, we've seen it huge because, I mean, just in the last few years, it's grown like crazy as far as the number of businesses that we've been able to bring in and incentivize to stay, which is an important thing also. And that's in the middle of this recession, which is phenomenal.
So you've seen some positive growth
We've seen extremely positive growth, yes.
Right now, Richard, I understand that some of the labor unions really aren't in favor of this. How come?
Well, if you look at the situation that our families are facing right now, almost a third of families in San Diego County can't pay their bills month to month. So if we're going to take $750 million of state money that could otherwise be going to schools or public safety or health care, and we're going to put it into subsidies for businesses, we expect to see good jobs being created where families who do those jobs can actually support themselves and pay their bills. Subsidies to companies like Walmart and strip clubs and fast food restaurants. Taxpayers should not be footing the bill for those companies.
And let me address that. I want to say that the state's enterprise program does include some major tax incentives for businesses in those areas, which did include, like you say, strip clubs, chain restaurants like McDonald's, and other major corporations. This is coming from Sacramento. So critics say, listen, these jobs would come here anyway, and they're taking advantage of the system. What would you say to that?
Well, I'd say a couple of things. One thing, this is the program that the state set up, and so there are some flaws in it. They need to correct the flaws. You don't need a whole new program. We don't need a new bureaucracy in Sacramento that's, to be honest with you, going to be another bureaucracy in Sacramento. Let's correct the problems. Let's see what those problems are that the state created, and let's take care of those problems. And, there is a lot of money being subsidized, $700 million. But it is creating a lot of businesses that is bringing revenue back into the state. And I'll contend, I think the numbers show, they get a lot more money than is spent. So there's no money lost here.
Okay, a comprehensive study by the Public Policy Institute of California a few years back compared data from businesses inside and outside the zone. And I'm going to start with you, Richard. They found no significant difference in job growth. Why do you think that is?
Well, because what we have are big companies, again, like Walmart or fast food restaurants. They're going to locate in communities, and what they're getting are tax breaks on each employee that they hire, but the employee is not benefiting from that. So what the governor is saying is focus more on the manufacturing sector, for instance, that actually does create jobs and grow quality jobs, and focus in the areas of the state that are the most economically disadvantaged, rather than, for instance, downtown San Diego, where law firms can get vouchers for hiring lawyers. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So what the governor is saying is repurpose the program, focus it in a way that helps working families and helps taxpayers.
And what do you think that as far as this public policy comparison, what do you think the situation was?
Well, one of the problems is comparing areas that are advantaged communities that normally during good times and bad times, they get economic growth, and they're comparing it to disadvantaged areas with high unemployment and do not have the job base. So to have the same amount of growth that the advantage areas have, that's what we're supposed to be doing, is making a level playing field. So in my idea, that study actually is in our favor. It's saying that it has leveled the playing field. That's a good thing.
Alrighty. What would you like to see happen as far as this moving forward, either with the governor's plan or things staying the same?
Well, I would like to not see a repeat of what they did with redevelopment. So in finding a problem in some small area and then eliminating the whole program. What I would like to see them do is like what we suggested then, we've suggested now, sit down with local governments and let's take a look and find out what is wrong, what is what problems has the state created? How do we resolve them then? And how do we make this thing work better? And the last thing we need to do is to make it another state program.
Okay, and what would you say? What would you like to see with the new plan?
If we're going to subsidize companies, we need to see higher job standards, and we need to see the money going to the kinds of industry, manufacturing that can actually create jobs. And we also need to see transparency. We need to know who's getting those credits, who's applying, and not be stuck in a situation where, we put a public records request into the city of San Diego here to ask who's receiving these vouchers, and we got back a letter saying that under state law they can't tell us. That's not good enough for the taxpayers.
So you'd like to see some more transparency no
That's
matter
right.
what happens.
That's
Well,
right.
Richard Barrera and Mayor Ron Morrison, thank you so much.
Thank you, Peggy.
Appreciate it.